System. You're by yourself.
Morning, buddy.
We have 10, right? That's what we're doing. 10. Can't hear anything. It's never the same. It's okay. We'll leave it at 10. Thinking it's working. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. How are you?
It's crazy. I am good. I'm happy I'm here with you.
You can't hear me?
No, I don't know what's going on. It's okay. We don't need to know. We can
Darren
just
Gamble,
be.
can you? Again.
Is this my connection? Got issues? Couch, where are we at? Look at that. Soul's in the house. What's up, Soul? Dom's getting.
I'm going to switch to the StreamYard app. Oh, no. No. Don't end the stream.
Not end the stream. Don't end the stream. Don't do it. Just leave the studio. What's happening, people? Dom's doing something right now, which is great. We got Soul in the house. Soul's been, if you haven't checked it out, Soul's been getting some of the ladies together. Been doing some spaces. So to see you here is amazing. And it's so good. But I will send you the guest link. We're figuring this out. We got Jason in the house. I'm gonna pop this Dom off if that's cool. But welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Daily Dads. Part of the V-Dads network. Is that what we say? That's what we say. What's happening, Jay?
It is my last day of school before Christmas break. I'm wearing candy cane tights, playing some 8th graders in basketball today.
Well, you can't wear candy cane tights and tell us, not show us.
I mean, obviously I'm wearing shorts too.
Oh, yeah.
They're Lululemon. Have you heard of them? They're really form-fitting. They come in a lot of styles.
Oh, got it. Are they unisex now, or are we're just going crazy?
Oh no, they're totally Kristen's.
Nice. Well, I love it. It looks great. Congratulations on the last day before school. Are you stressed? Do you feel good? Where are you at right now?
No, I'm feeling good. Just gotta do final grades. That's the only thing. I want to get them done before today, so I don't have to do them over the break. And I'm probably gonna get emails anyway from students asking about missing grades and what can I do to get my grade up. I'm going to tell them nothing.
Do grades, now having been a teacher, do grades make you realize, I don't know, it depends on how you grade. Are grades is there as much gravity behind the grades now after being a teacher as they were when you were a student? And then I want to share a story of how I think I became a worse student because of you.
That's a really good question. I would say it's different in, I guess, the things that are assessed and the ways that they're quantified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we still go by like A, B, C, D, E. No, A, B, C, D, F, stuff like that. But we also have a 4-point scale where it's like, above average, adequate, below average, or progressing, emerging, those things. There's tons of ways to do it. And I hope my students, like, the last thing they remember is a grade in class, at least in my class. I just have to do it because that's part of the job. So I try to make it as easy as possible. Okay. What's your story about grades?
One time, Jason, I'm going to watch this. Ready? I'm going to say this. Here's a question, and I'm going to tie it in. Ready? Are we good?
Let's go.
You know, I hate, for some reason, this volume is going in and out of my headphones. But if your future self, right, and I'm looking right here, if your future self could talk to you now, right, you in the future, 2025, 2028, 2040, but if your future self could talk to you, I'm coming, Dom, I'm coming. If your future self could talk to you, and they thanked you for how you spent not just time with your kids, but spending time now, what would that be, right? What would your future self say, hey, you did a really great job. Thank you for doing that. Curious. I just want to leave that there. Now, my future self today, if I had to go back to myself in high school, I would go to the moment that Jason told me that studying for midterms and finals is a waste of time because it's already in your head. If you were sitting in class, it should be in there.
I said that?
I took that to heart because it was the easy thing to justify my non-desire to actually study. And
Wow.
I did. And I was like, yeah, he's so right. If I'm in class and I'm looking, it's got to be in there. It'll come back out.
That is a great theory. And I am definitely thanking my younger self for that. Wow. That's like the procrastinator's prayer right there.
You know what? But it spoke to me, and I was like, "That's the way. That's the way to do it." And I'm pretty sure that wasn't the best advice. But I think that maybe at the moment you were trying to be a good big brother. Although I don't know.
I think well, reflecting back to what I was like, what was this like? This was like college.
What I'm talking about was in high school.
Oh, high school. My high school self probably thought that sounded really insightful, even though it does, but it's totally not real world. Maybe it is. I don't know. What do you think, Tom? Do you think that do you think you should have to study for midterms, or do you think you just assess what's in your head right there? A true assessment of what's in your head.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you should kind of study a little bit, but
Ah.
I think the all night, like trying to get it all in there and, you know, if you haven't paid enough attention the whole thing, like trying to cram for a midterm, like for 6 hours beforehand isn't going to do anything, you know, like.
I mean, at the very least, 6 hours beforehand. That's probably optimal. Like if I were to reflect back on my study habits, it was about 6 hours before is when I started. Oh, that's nice.
Oops. Hey guys.
Whoa.
I just wanted to see what's going on.
Hey there, guys.
Well, tell your kids to study at least. I think that's the benefit of this.
Shoot, my kid's already halfway through her midterms, and I forgot to tell her to study.
She's probably just going in with what's in her head, which is what I would tell my daughter if I were in high school.
Yeah, I think she just listens to this in the morning when she wakes up. So, thanks, Ryan.
Guys, can I ask that question again though? The one I asked before. Can we bring it back to some parenting, some dad stuff?
Sure.
Also, I don't know if it's loud. I get so confused what's loud, what's not. So if it's loud, class is going on here, whatever's going on.
Nothing's loud.
All right. But if your future self could talk to you now, what do you think they would thank you for with the way that you're spending your time or parenting your kids right now? What are you so proud of now that you know your future self do that great job?
You know, I think all of it, right? Like I think the stuff that I've been doing lately is basically the reading, the journaling, the like getting more in tune with like a healthier perspective on life. So, you know, just enjoying time with them in general, enjoying time with people in general, you know, heavier appreciation of the simple things in life, not always trying to, you know, chase the new. I remember when I was early dad years, I was still heavily into like video games, and so I would like go get the new Call of Duty at midnight and just play it until 3 or 4 a.m. and then rock to work with like 3 hours of sleep and just, you know, be on, you know, 3 or 4 Red Bulls a day and drinking whiskey and Coors at night. So like that earlier part of my parent journey, I was, you know, a different person. And I've put in the work to be a different person now. So I think I'd thank my future self for, you know, doing one thing, but then knowing that like it was wrong or that I should be doing something different and finding a way to figure out and make that change and put in that work.
I like that. I wasn't thinking about this right now. I was thinking about something else, but you know what? Sometimes it's like, are we doing enough? I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think if I mean, I feel I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. Kind of similar to what Dom was saying. My head goes to the things I wish I hadn't done, and
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot. Um, I would say like I was a pretty big gamer in my empty garbage time as the kids were younger. And I stopped that because I noticed it was taking up too much time. That's one thing I guess I might wish I had done differently earlier. In the words of Matt Damon from Saving Private Ryan, I would say, earn this. I think that's a good way to put it.
Is that the only movie with that quote?
It's the only one with Matt Damon saying it as an old guy.
You know, my
No,
favorite.
sorry, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
My favorite thing about Saving Private Ryan, and it makes me laugh, is that this is what I read. I don't even know if it's true, but they put everyone through basic training except for Matt Damon, and so everybody would hate that they were doing it, and then they would see Matt Damon like just like not doing it, and so I think the whole premise of the movie is like going out of their way to save this person, but also like really be like, oh, like why do we have to get? But that's my favorite thing is the fact that they put people through basic training just to hate someone so that they can play it off on camera as an authentic feeling. So
And get paid more money for it.
you know what? If someone paid me to go through basic training, I'd totally do it.
I'd be pretty mad if somebody came into my room to learn what it was like to be a teacher, to turn around and earn millions of dollars
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about, Ryan? About thanking your future self for, or your future self thanking you? Sorry.
Thanks so much. That's why I need Dom here. Do you know that Dom sits on my shoulder sometimes? And he just reminds me of the things that I don't answer that I've asked questions for. Which is great. I need that. I would thank my future self for. I do a really, and maybe almost, it's not to a fault. I don't think that's even right. My oldest daughter, I spend a lot of time making sure that I talk about, do, and provide the things that I felt I needed as a kid that I didn't get. No fault to anybody, but there were things that I think that I needed that I didn't get because I didn't know I needed it, and I didn't know how to ask for it. But I see so much of myself as a child in my youngest daughter, and my oldest daughter right now, and I'm really grateful for these opportunities to kind of slow things down. It's like even last night, she started to get a lot of things. We were asking her to do a lot of things last night, and they pile up on each other, and then she can get overwhelmed. And knowing full well how that feels and how she might be feeling it, I was grateful for myself to be able to kind of slow it down, talk about it, grab her, pull her aside, and spend some time with her to explain maybe, how maybe we can think about it differently. If you feel overwhelmed, what words to use to let us know, and empower her in the way that I knew that I wasn't empowered when I was younger. So that's what my future self would say to me. Good job.
Yeah, I feel that. For sure.
I think we're all just trying to live up to the person we needed when we were younger, right? Kind of how that quote goes.
Yeah. I think you were the one that told me about that quote. You end up being the kind of parent you needed as a kid. Did you say that? That sounds like something you would say.
Yeah. It's not I mean, I think a lot of people say it, so it's not like it's a.
I only ever heard you say it.
Oh, so it's not a Ryan Turner original, but I'm glad I said it and it sounded that way. So, Dom, can I ask you a favor?
Yeah, man. What's up?
can you give some love to the couch right now? I feel like my eyes are scanning, but I want to make sure we're not missing anything. One, I do want to know.
Craig is talking about his hopeful future, where he becomes Gary B's best friend, and Gary gives him everything. Karen Camel is going on. He's going on about adoption. That's where he's leading his life right now. Is into the position to adopt someone. He said that he was adopted and extremely lucky to have a wonderful family, and he'd love to be able to share some love and support for some later. Yeah, and so him and Craig are going back and forth a little bit. Paul just entered. Good morning, Paul. But yeah, they're having a conversation, and I'm enjoying it. I really am. I just don't want to type. My keyboard's right behind the phone, and I don't want to be that guy that's clicking away at the keys and not focusing on the chat.
Go for it, man. I think that
for you guys.
Benefit. I do want to give a shout out to what I just put up on the screen right now. Craig, thank you for saying this. All kids need to know what it feels like to be unconditionally loved and adored by their parents. They all deserve a stress-free life, learning strong morals, and to be allowed to believe in what they want. I'm reading out loud because we put these up as podcasts, and so someone might not be able to see this. But I love that, and it makes me think if anyone in our community is familiar with I Ben Kind. Great discussion we had with him on the VDads podcast, which is usually like the longer form discussion, kind of hopping into parenting history, how he grew up, what is showing up today in your parenting that showed up when you were a kid, all this kind of stuff. Really great discussion with Ben. He talked about his upbringing, which was heavily religious. And I hope I'm doing this justice and saying it right. But one thing in particularly that I loved, it wasn't that he was ever demonizing religion. He wasn't saying anything bad. He wasn't talking bad about how he was brought up. When I asked him, would you change anything? His answer wasn't yes. It was very thoughtful. But the one thing in particular that I loved what he said, it's always stuck with me, is this unconditional love. And it's the one thing that he has always, or that he really, I think, focused in on, was the idea here that if we should be providing love to our children unconditionally, with the thought of, I think some things, whether it's religion or how parents think, that sometimes love is conditional in their minds. And so if it's the one thing, he's like, I wouldn't change my past. I don't want to demonize religion, but I just want to make sure that love is definitely conditional there. Now, Jason said this too, and I'm going to get this wrong, Jason, so you can remind me, but it's the one thing that I loved what you said, talking about Junie, your middle child, about how the world is going to provide her with enough feedback, with enough criticism. And so the one place that you can support her is by giving that unconditional love. I forget what you said. You said it more poignantly.
I think it's like radical
acceptance.
Optimism.
Optimism, that was a word.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that your future self would probably thank you for that. I think it's good.
I would. Yeah. I'll remember that.
I hope you do. I think it's important. I think it's definitely a true thing. Kind of be mindful about those things there. What was I looking at? I was thinking about a thought here. I just sent over on X, actually, just to repost this stream. But one day you're going to look back on today and wish for just one moment like it, right? What's going on right now? Instead of waiting to miss it, right? Soak it in at the moment. Love now while you can. I love that. Who doesn't love that? But I'm saying this because I was thinking about my daughter, and I always tell her this. I need her to know this. I'm going to trust you. I have two decisions, to trust you or not trust you. And if I don't trust you, what's that doing for our relationship? I'll trust you no matter what you end up telling me. Now, people will hate that. But I think I'm choosing trust, and I want you to know I trust you, so that whatever you tell me, I'm hoping that can kind of give that bigger bond. And now there's definitely nuance, but I think it is something. Again, I'm thinking about future self, all that kind of stuff. But I definitely, that's definitely one position that I've taken, which I think is important in my relationship with my daughter.
I'm stuck on what I wouldn't do if I were to go back. I can't get that out of my head. Maybe I should just drop that. Just focus on what I have done.
Dom is our resident stoic.
That's a very anti-stoic thought, huh?
That's why Dom's here.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about focusing on the present, with a decent enough eye on the future, but basically living most of your time in the present and understanding what you can control and can't control. You can't control the past, can't control the future, only control the present. Yeah, I love that part. Unconditional love. That's like one of the more important things that I think you don't think about when you think about parenting. It just it's one of those things that comes naturally, but then at some point you can find yourself slipping and placing conditions like grades, cleaning your room, cleaning up after yourself, being nice to your siblings, like all of that stuff. So I know that part is kind of tough, so, but I don't know where I was going with that thought. I got sidetracked. Sorry.
We were trying to make Jason realize that he doesn't need to sit in the past and talk about things that he doesn't think he did well.
I would say this. I'll redirect that to thinking about the things that I didn't do. Just makes me more mindful about the things that I want to do or intend to do, so I don't have to say I wish I did that.
Yep, that's good. That's a good way to think about it right there.
I would say this page in particular for today, I think probably summarizes the rest of the month really well. Like, I know, I think it was September, October, who was focusing on reading. I feel like today probably most closely resembles my state of mind. Maybe it's the end of the year, maybe it's the book, but I think all the things it mentioned about that impending feeling of nostalgia. Like, I feel like I will definitely be nostalgic about these particular 3 years for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's because we moved into this place last 3 years, but it's there's already times that I get nostalgic for, thinking about our old place that we were at. The nostalgia is starting to set in, and I'm starting to feel it, and it's kind of peppered on everything. I feel almost like the immediate, a very immediate. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. It's I know that nostalgia will be hitting hard in the next few years again. And I don't feel like I always felt that. I feel like this year in particular, it's starting to kind of set in.
Is nostalgia? Are we giving nostalgia a negative association?
A what?
A negative association?
Oh no, no, not at all. It's we've been through a lot of stages with all three girls where it's now I'm in that state where those times are far enough away where it kind of seems like a different life. Like Kira being 5 and all of Kira's firsts, and Junie kind of going into that adolescent stage that Kira started a few years ago.
Yeah. Kira's also very mature for her age, I feel. You can tell me I'm wrong. And I'm sure that it feels as if she's like leaving her kid self behind faster than she probably is in some cases. That has to be kind of a, I don't know, does that resonate?
It does, yeah. There's definitely things that she's kind of like rocketing into, like makeup and fashion. Sorry, I'm not crying. I choked on coffee.
It's okay to cry, man.
It's just running on my eyes a bit. And then like I look at Hazel, and Hazel is it's like I start to notice that she's a little bit taller and moves different. It's like she's no longer like toddler moving around. She's more like flexible, and she's getting longer, but she still jumps all over me.
Yeah. Well, daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to, well, Sol, thank you for mentioning. I think this is a great idea around mindfulness, right? I think that we need to put ourselves in that state of mindfulness too. So think about the things we didn't do. It's a reflection. Let me just find my note here because I wanted to. I want to try to think about this as like a love letter. Let's think about that. A love letter to your future self again. I'm going to go back there, but I want to. Can anyone share on the couch? Jason, Dom, you, Dom. I'm going to highlight Dom. Dom, can you give me an idea? Because I don't want to talk about things we didn't do. I don't want to, but I want to give props to a moment that you know that you did, a moment that you recently or in the past, whenever it was, that you were so focused on the moment that you didn't let it slip. Whether it's like, you're like, nope, don't even touch my phone, throw my phone away. Or you were like, nope, and I've done this recently. I've told myself, I talk out loud, of like, no one that I work for or with or whatever is more important than my kids. I'll be like, I'll be late for that person, right? So that's like being in the moment. But I want to give a shout out, and I want you guys to think about it. It's giving yourself a shout out. It's a love letter to yourself. Now, when was there a moment recently that you were so focused in the moment that you did not let it slip, that you were where your feet were at? Because I think if we look at that, we can definitely be like, let's make more of those. I think it's important. But there has to be something there that you did, that you valued that moment so much that it now is shaping the relationship with your kid. Maybe your spouse, maybe that's definitely a helpful thing. That's shaping the relationship with your kid that much more. Give yourself some props. Dom, when did you last stay in the moment? And you know you did, and you're like, damn, you're doing a great job, Dad. When was the last time you did that?
The very last one, the most recent one, probably have to be just. One of the ones I can think of is when I was sitting with Bailey. We had gotten a little gift. I think so. This was after Thanksgiving, of doing a Lego, like a poinsettia, like one of those newer types of Legos, and we just sat together and built it together, the two of us. So it was just very able to just like plug in and just do that with her and really enjoy that moment. Again, she's my 16-year-old, so we don't get a lot of moments together. She's off in her own 16-year-old world, so that was a lot of fun.
Funny enough, you shared that picture with us. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Print it out. Print that picture out. Love letter to yourself. I hope you do. But I think it's good. Jason, when was the last time you were like in that moment? Like what? Like, give yourself those props. When was the last time you're like, damn, I did a great job?
I'd say playing soccer with Kira. Just kicking long balls back and forth beginning of the summer. That's when she got back into it.
Yeah.
And really inserting myself into that part of her life, I'd say. And then that was around the same time that I started, hanging out with you guys in the morning, which I'm really thankful for. But then applying that to like reading at night, breakfast in the morning, all the things we do every day. There's always going to be a last. So that's where it started, soccer.
Oh, man. It's always going to be a last. It's a tough one.
How about you, Ryan?
Be in the moment, people. Be in the moment. It's so hard right now. I am gonna give myself this. The other day, we mentioned, Jason, your oldest, I think, being very mature for her age and maybe growing up faster than you're ready for, maybe mentally. My youngest is that. My youngest will physically take you down while also mentally burying you. She's really funny, but she also, I think, sees herself as older than she is, and it's great. I love her for that. But she loves to play with the older kids, and I think sometimes the older kids are like, calm the hell down. Like, you're 3. But what happens is that there's a little clash there, and then she'll go out in the hallway and play. And then no one knows I live in a larger apartment building, and so all the kids just kind of play in the hallways. It's definitely it's a cool thing. But she'll come back in and she's crying, and she's like, "Oh, they're not like helping me. You're not playing with me, whatever." But the other day, I heard her be really upset, and like she's so strong-willed. But I dropped everything I was doing. Like I feel as if I could just keep going every minute of the day. I know it's 9:01, by the way, top of the hour. But I dropped everything I was doing, and I was like, "You want to go do a puzzle?" She's like, "Yeah, let's just go do a puzzle." All she wanted was that connection. All she wanted was like someone to pay attention to her. And I feel like right now, like especially me and Lauren are all over the place. Like it's Christmas time, and so I was really grateful because I think she was so grateful to be like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do." Like she was so sure she wanted that. I was so sure that I want to do that with her, and it was like a really cool moment. That I really like that. I also missed the stream yesterday because I dropped everything. My daughter wanted me at her school for something, and I was like, I'm going to do it. Nothing is getting in my way. So I showed up yesterday, which I thought was really important for her. So that made me feel good.
That's awesome. Both of those things are awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Tom.
We're rocking it. Props to you guys too. As well.
It definitely feels good to reflect, though. Definitely, like you guys, it slows things down. The one thing I probably mentioned to more people in my life is this. I would say I look back and reflect and be like, oh man, I wish there was a pause button. Whether it was because I got angry at something or I didn't take something into account. Like I always wish there was a pause button in life. This is my pause button, guys. You gave me my pause button in life. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's the reflection. Like this, the morning, the daily reflection. Just this is our way of doing it, and it's really good.
I would say this is a great eraser for anything that maybe you may have wished was different. Because if you're able to reflect on it, I think inherently it makes that important, right? Or meaningful.
You're right, man. Now 10 sounds so loud. That's okay. It's like 10. All right, guys. We love you all. Go out there, reflect, give yourself some props, some love today, guys. Mugs full of coffee, hearts full of gratitude. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Have a lovely day.